Good morning. We are getting an early start here. We have to run out and get some straw for the chickens, and we are heading to the garden store to see what they have because I am ready to get my hands dirty. It is like going to be 65 degrees this week. I think later in the week 68 degrees, so I need to plant up my window boxes. So we're going to go to the garden stores here and just kind of see what fun stuff we can find. And I got my little helper here with me today. I will try to take you along in the garden store and just kind of show you what they've got, and then we'll come home and we'll plant it. Okay, we are back here at the farm, and I did indeed find some good things. So obviously when you go to your garden centers right now, there is not going to be a whole lot out there, you know, in January. In the next couple months, obviously some things will start rolling in here. So I wanted to put together something that gave me the color that I needed for right now, still had a wintry look, but would last me into spring. So I'll talk a little bit about how I'm going to add to this when a little bit warmer temperatures come in and the garden centers start filling up. But all of this stuff that I bought today are either a shrub or a perennial, which means I can take this out when springtime is over and I can plant it in my landscape somewhere. All of this stuff that I got is shade loving or part sun. These window boxes get mostly shade, and so let me show you what we've got because there are a lot of pretty things in here. I needed something weighty in the center, so I grabbed 2 Green Mountain Boxwoods, 1 for each of my window boxes. I'm going to be planting this in the center. These actually like full sun, but because this is a temporary solution, they'll be just fine here in these window boxes in full shade for right now, because come late spring, they will head out. Once I plant these up for summer, all of this will come out and go into my landscape. I always like to plant up my window boxes and keep them planted up, but especially this time of year, stuff doesn't look great, especially like your pansies and your colorful things. They're gonna look kind of just blah right now. So filling a window box with this bright stuff that loves the cooler temperatures is perfect. And then I get to go plant it out in my landscape, and it gets to play double duty for me and my wallet. So these boxwoods take on a more natural cone shape. Like I mentioned, they get about 5 feet tall and maybe 3 feet wide or so. And I love boxwoods because they make great wreaths. You can put them in with the other evergreen pieces, or I have made a boxwood wreath with just boxwood clippings, and it lasts forever and it looks so beautiful. So I'm excited to plant some more boxwoods in my yard. With this, I have grabbed some Citronelle coral bells, which is a heuchera, and I love heucheras. They are one of the most easiest to care for plants, and how could you not love this pop of chartreuse green? These like a full shade or maybe just a little bit of sun. The more shade that you give them, the more chartreuse color they're going to have. These get about maybe a foot tall, but then they send up these, I think midsummer is when they bloom. They send up these bloom stalks that can get up to 18 inches, and they take on more of a creamy color. Different heucheras bloom different colors. I've seen these lime green ones with a dark fuchsia color blooms. I've got some other heucheras here that I've planted on the farm, and each one does something a little bit differently, but I'm excited to have this pop of color. These are a zone 4. I garden here in zone 7B. So anything that is on a tag, a garden tag, if your garden zone, which you can find by Googling, is higher than what is on the tag, then it is a perennial for you. So different plants act different in different areas. So anything zone 4 or higher, these will be a perennial, which means they come back every single year. These look great planted with dark green, or they would look good next to purple or even blues. So maybe some blue junipers or anything that you've got is more of a blue color. These are really going to pop against those. So I got 2 of those for each window boxes, and then I got some more Lenten roses, some more hellebores. I love hellebores. Now these are a little bit pricier, but they will pay for themselves in the years to come because most of them start spreading their seed a little bit and will start coming up wider, and you can come in and dig those and move those to other areas of your landscape. These, I don't have a color like these. I will put a picture on the screen of these. They are an Apricot Blush Winter Jewels Lenten Rose, and that peach color that they get, that apricot color, is incredible. Imagine how that's going to look blooming up out of this chartreuse green. It's going to be so, so pretty. These, I got 2 for each window boxes. Like I said, they are pricey. They're probably about $25 a piece usually this time of year. Sometimes you can find them for $20, but they are worth it. They bloom in very, very early spring. Here in Southern Virginia, I've had them as early as February, and they are just like this bright light shining through that winter snow or mud, whatever we have, depending on the year here in Southern Virginia. But they are just, when you're craving those blooms, these things pull through. They are amazing. So these bloom in early spring. They like shade. They can take a little bit of dappled sun. They get about 15 to 18 inches tall and 18 to 22 inches wide. These are a zone 4 as well. Did I say? Okay, that was for the Heucheras. The Hellebores are also a zone 4. All right, so then I got some Teardrop Ivy. This gets about 6 inches tall, but it spreads, crawls, and does whatever you want it to do. I mean, it's just so beautiful. I mean, look at that. It's so full, and I'm going to place that in the middle here, crawling out over the front. I don't know where I'm going to plant this yet on the farm. This is a zone, I want to say this was a zone 4 through 9 as well. I will have to pop that up on the screen if I'm wrong, but I mean, I just love it. So it's the Teardrop Ivy, and it gets its name because the ivy leaves are more like a teardrop looking. So I just thought it was so pretty. Anything green and lush and full this time of year, it's gonna catch my eye, right? Okay, so that's what we're gonna put in here. And now I'm going to get this all planted up, and then I'll show you the final look for it. I may grab some magnolia leaves to kind of stick and fill some areas, and then we'll talk about how I'm going to add to this when springtime does roll around to add a little pop of color. But this being planted up will make me feel like I've got a head start on spring, because I won't have to change this out come springtime when I have all of those other projects. So let's get going. Oh my gosh, these have turned out better than I had imagined. I did end up adding in some of the magnolia sprigs in there, which I think just give it a nice lushness, since, you know, it's January and not a lot of this stuff is going to put on a lot of weight. I did put it in front of the hellebores, which I wanted to show you. Here is the little bloom, one of them. So it should still be able to pop up over the back if we get to spring and you can't really see it. I'll pull the magnolia sprigs out. And then also, when more colorful stuff for the spring, like primrose or even potted tulips that are coming in, you know, when they start arriving to the garden center, I will pop out the magnolia leaves and we'll pop in some of that color in there. And then this will hold me over until I plant this up for spring. But holy moly, it is just so pretty. It turned out so good. I am so in love with the way these things turned out. They just add such a brightness to January. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.